All right, settle in, because we've all been there. Picture this. You're stuck in a team meeting, right? Everyone's nodding along to some grand plan, but deep down, you're thinking, this is fine, just fine. But speaking up? Nah, that feels too risky, doesn't it? You just go with the flow. Later, you're scrolling through Instagram, double-tapping photos you don't even really like, just because you want to be seen, to feel connected, to not miss out. By Friday, you're absolutely wiped out, drained from playing a part that isn't quite you. You're so tired of performing, you might even forget what your real, unforced laugh sounds like. It's a subtle kind of exhaustion, isn't it? This constant pressure to conform, to blend in, to be palatable. But here's the wild truth, a bit of a paradox. The louder the world screams at you to fit in, the quieter, yet more persistent, your own soul starts to whisper, no, stand out. Be you. And what if I told you there are 3 ancient, battle-tested Stoic habits that can completely flip that script for you? No cheesy charisma tricks, no fake bravado, no forcing anything. Just a quiet, magnetic authenticity that makes people genuinely lean in, listen closely, and wonder, what's different about them? You know, Stoicism isn't about transforming yourself into some emotionless, unfeeling statue. That's a common misconception, and frankly, it's boring. Instead, think of it as a powerful, precise chisel. You're not building something new. You're meticulously chiseling away the layers of fear, insecurity, and societal expectations. All that excess marble that's been obscuring the truly remarkable, authentic you underneath. Today, I'm literally handing you that chisel. We're talking about 3 practices, not theories, but practices that have been road-tested and proven effective by everyone from Roman emperors like Marcus Aurelius to former slaves like Epictetus, and yes, even by many modern CEOs navigating today's chaotic world. These aren't just historical footnotes, they're actionable tools. Use them consistently, and you'll find yourself no longer anxiously asking, how do I get noticed? Instead, you'll start hearing people ask you, what is it about you? You just have this presence. And the best part? You won't even have to try. It just becomes who you are. This is about cultivating an inner strength that projects outward, naturally drawing people to your genuine self. Section 1, practice number 1, a more fatty, love what happens. Problem. Let's be honest. Life has a knack for throwing curveballs, doesn't it? And not just little ones. We're talking budget cuts that blindside your project, canceled dates that leave you feeling deflated, or that infuriating moment your Wi-Fi dies right before you hit save on something crucial. The common, almost instinctive, human reaction to these hiccups? We treat them like personal attacks. We resist, we rant, we repost angry memes. We complain to anyone who'll listen. We feel like we're fighting back, right? Like we're being proactive. But here's the kicker. This resistance, this complaining, this pushing against reality, it's actually a form of passive conformity. Think about it. You're letting external circumstances, things entirely outside your control, dictate your mood, your reactions, and ultimately, your inner peace. You're allowing the universe to pull your strings. You're reacting, not acting. And that makes you just like everyone else who's also reacting, also complaining. You're not standing out. You're just part of the collective groan. You're giving away your power. Solution. Now, let's talk about a different path. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, had this profound insight. The impediment to action advances action. What a line, right? It's not just a clever turn of phrase. It's a blueprint. His meaning? The obstacle itself isn't a dead end. It's actually the raw material for your next move. It's what you work with. This is the heart of a more fatty, a Latin phrase that translates to love of fate, or love of one's fate. It's not about being a doormat, passively accepting bad things and doing nothing to change them. Not at all. It's about a radical, almost audacious, acceptance of everything that happens in your life, both good and bad, as necessary for your growth. It means you don't just accept the setback, you embrace it. You don't just tolerate it, you learn to love it. You don't just date it, you marry it, you raise kids with it, you integrate it into the fabric of your being. When that project collapses, instead of spiraling into despair, you pause and genuinely ask, okay, what hidden door just opened because this one closed? What opportunity has this bad event created? This isn't blind optimism. It's a deep, philosophical reframing. It's about understanding that the universe isn't happening to you, it's happening for you. Every challenge is a chance to practice virtue, to learn, to adapt. This mindset, it's incredibly rare. And because it's rare, it shines. Imagine two coworkers. One sulks for days when the client changes the brief, grumbling about wasted effort and unfairness. The other, faced with the exact same situation, shrugs, maybe even smiles a little, and says, "Cool, a new canvas. Let's see what we can create with these new parameters." Which one do you think the room notices? Whose calm confidence and adaptability becomes a quiet, powerful statement? It's the one who practices a more fatty. They're not just accepting reality. They're transforming it into an advantage, radiating an inner peace that isn't easily rattled. This isn't about being happy about the bad thing. It's about choosing to be happy with the bad thing, understanding its role in your journey. It's a profound act of personal resilience and self-mastery. Microaction. So, here's a tiny, tangible way to start weaving a more fatty into your daily life. Tomorrow, when something minor inevitably goes sideways, maybe your train is delayed, or you spill coffee on your favorite shirt, instead of sighing or getting annoyed, try this. Say out loud to yourself, "Good, I actually needed this plot twist." Then, and this is the crucial part, immediately find one tactical upside to it before you even reach your desk. Maybe the train delay gives you an extra 15 minutes to clear your inbox, or the spilled coffee forces you to finally wear that new shirt you've been saving. Do this 3 times this week. Seriously. And then just watch. Watch how quickly people around you start unconsciously labeling you as unflappable, as someone who handles anything with an almost uncanny grace. You're not just enduring, you're evolving. Section 2, practice number 2. The 4 cardinal virtues as your filter. Problem. Ever leave a conversation or a meeting or even just a social gathering and find yourself replaying every single word, analyzing your tone, dissecting their reactions, wondering, did they like me? Did I sound smart enough? Did I say the right thing? That, my friend, is what I call external validation whiplash. It's exhausting, isn't it? And social media? Oh, social media has multiplied that feeling by 1,000 likes, 1,000,000 comments. We're wired, deep in our primal brains, to constantly scan for approval, much like our ancestors scanned for tigers in the tall grass. A constant state of low-level anxiety, just waiting for a threat, or in our case, a judgment. This incessant need for external approval turns us into chameleons, constantly shifting our colors to match our environment, losing ourselves in the process. We become performers, not people. We sacrifice our authenticity on the altar of popularity, and that, ironically, makes us forgettable. Solution. Now, let's introduce the Stoic compass: practical wisdom, temperance, justice, and courage. These aren't just abstract ideals. They're your internal navigation system. Epictetus, the former slave who became a profound Stoic teacher, famously boiled it down to a simple, yet powerful, distinction. What is up to me? What is not up to me? This is the core. When you start filtering every single choice, every word, every action, not through the lens of, will this get me applause? But through the lens of these 4 virtues, something truly transformative happens. You become, almost paradoxically, oddly attractive. Why? Because people sense it. They sense that you're not for sale, that your integrity isn't negotiable. They see that your decisions aren't swayed by fleeting opinions or the desire for likes, but by a deeper, unshakable moral compass. You project an authentic strength that draws others in. Let's picture a common scenario, the office gossip session. We've all been in them. Someone starts tearing down a colleague, or a project, or even management. Most people jump in, eager to bond over shared negativity, or maybe just to avoid being targeted themselves. But you stay quiet. Not because you're boring or because you lack an opinion, but because the virtue of justice whispers in your ear. Speaking ill of others harms the team, it erodes trust, it's not fair. Or perhaps temperance reminds you to control your impulse to join the fray. Maybe wisdom tells you it's simply not productive. And then someone notices. Someone says, "You know, I've never heard them throw anyone under the bus." That observation, that reputation for quiet integrity, travels faster and resonates more deeply than any resume bullet point. any self-promotion. It speaks volumes without you ever uttering a boast. It's a powerful, silent form of leadership. Let's break down these virtues a bit more. Practical wisdom. Prudence. This isn't just about being smart. It's about knowing what truly matters and how to act effectively in the world. It's the ability to discern what is good, what is bad, and what is indifferent. It's about making sound judgments, not impulsive ones. It's asking, what's the wise thing to do here, considering the long-term impact and my values? In your career, practical wisdom helps you make better decisions by considering the consequences of your actions and learning from your experiences. Temperance, moderation/self-control. This virtue is about self-mastery, controlling your desires and impulses, not letting them control you. It's about balance in all things, in your consumption, your reactions, your speech. It's knowing when to speak and when to remain silent, when to act and when to pause. It's avoiding excess and seeking harmony. This helps you maintain composure under pressure and respond thoughtfully rather than impulsively. Justice, fairness/integrity. This is about treating others with fairness, kindness, and respect, regardless of their status. It's about upholding what is right, even when it's difficult or unpopular. It means acting with integrity, being honest, and contributing to the greater good of your community and team. It's recognizing your duty as a social being. Courage, fortitude. This isn't the absence of fear, but the ability to act rightly despite fear. It's the resilience to face adversity, to stand up for your principles, to take calculated risks for what you believe in. It's about perseverance and confronting your vulnerabilities. This allows you to embrace challenges as opportunities for growth. By consistently applying these virtues, you develop an inner congruence that is palpable. You become someone whose actions align with their words, whose character is their currency. That's a rare and powerful thing, and it absolutely makes you stand out. Microaction. Here's a simple, actionable way to start using this Stoic compass. Before your next important meeting, or even a tricky conversation, grab a sticky note. On it, quickly jot down the 4 virtues: wisdom, temperance, justice, courage. Keep it where only you can see it. Then, as you're about to speak or make a decision, quickly run it through this mental filter. Does this comment or action align with these virtues? Does it move the project forward fairly? Is it wise? Does it show courage where needed? Is it temperate in its delivery? If the answer is a clear yes, then speak with confidence. If it's a no, or even a hesitant maybe, save your breath. You'll be amazed at how this simple pause refines your contributions. And here's a little secret. Colleagues will start noticing your thoughtful contributions, your measured responses, your steady presence. They might even start copying your notes, or at least your approach. Why? Because virtue, true virtue, is undeniably contagious. Section 3, practice number 3, negative visualization without the doom scroll. Problem. In our modern world, we're constantly bombarded by the positive thinking movement, aren't we? It tells us to paste a smiley face over every fear, to only focus on the good, to manifest success with unwavering optimism. And while optimism has its place, this relentless pressure to be positive can have a dark side. The result? We become terrified of the dark corners of life precisely because we're told never to turn the lights on and look at them. We're encouraged to avoid even thinking about potential problems, leaving us utterly unprepared when they inevitably arrive. This approach often leads to a fragile resilience, a superficial confidence that shatters at the first real setback. Meanwhile, truly high performers, the ones who seem unflappable, they don't shy away from the shadows. They quietly, systematically, rehearse the worst-case scenarios, not to dwell in misery, but so they can mentally bench press those challenges when they finally show up. They aren't hoping for the best, they're preparing for anything. Solution. Enter Seneca, another profound Stoic philosopher, who practiced what he called premeditatio malorum, literally, the premeditation of evils. It sounds morbid, doesn't it? Imagine losing your home, your status, your job, even your physical capabilities. He'd mentally rehearsed the loss of everything he held dear, envisioning himself without it. This isn't about wallowing in negativity. Far from it. Seneca called it taking a deep breath of freedom. Why freedom? Because once you've mentally survived the worst, Once you've walked through the emotional landscape of losing what you fear most, the actual fear of losing it diminishes. The fear of external outcomes, like someone else's applause or disapproval, evaporates. When you've truly contemplated being fired, being rejected, or failing spectacularly, the stakes of speaking up in a meeting, pitching that bold idea, or even wearing that quirky tie you love suddenly feel much lower. You realize, I can handle this. I've already been there in my mind. This detachment from outcome is perhaps the loudest quiet statement you can make. It screams, I am not defined by external circumstances. I am defined by my response. This practice builds an incredible inner resilience. It helps you appreciate what you have, makes you mentally tougher, and increases your confidence. You become mentally prepared for anything, transforming potential surprises into anticipated challenges. It's about being prepared, not paranoid. It's about building psychological fitness, not inducing anxiety. By confronting your fears in your mind, you vaccinate yourself against their full emotional impact when they manifest in reality. You learn that you'll be okay, no matter what happens. Microaction. Let's put this into practice. Tonight, before you go to bed, spend just 3 focused minutes visualizing tomorrow's biggest potential fear or challenge. Maybe it's your boss rejecting your proposal, or a difficult conversation with a family member, or a presentation going poorly. Don't just think about it generally. Walk the hallway of rejection. What exactly would happen at 9:01 a.m. if your proposal was rejected? What would you do? Map out the second step you'd take, then the third. How would you react? What would your backup plan be? What resources would you tap into? What would you say to yourself to maintain your composure? The key is to think rationally and calmly about it, making it familiar. When the real meeting or conversation arrives tomorrow, you'll find your pulse stays lower, your voice remains steadier, and your thoughts clearer. People will notice that tranquil spine of steel, that quiet confidence that comes from someone who isn't just hoping for the best, but is prepared for anything. This isn't about being negative. It's about being incredibly, powerfully present and prepared. If you're finding genuine value here, if these ancient ideas are starting to resonate, then don't just passively consume. Hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and pause for a moment. Go grab a drink, stretch, and then come right back. Because the next part is where we really tie these practices together, showing you how they transform from personal development tools into a magnetic force, how they make you the kind of person others instinctively trust, respect, and want to follow. Section 4. Putting it together, the compound effect. You know, each of these Stoic practices, standing alone, is incredibly powerful in its own right. Amor fati keeps you buoyant, resilient, and adaptable when projects implode, when plans derail, when life throws its inevitable curveballs. The 4 cardinal virtues keep your decisions clean, your integrity intact, and your character unshakable when office politics get muddy or when moral dilemmas arise. And negative visualization? That keeps you daring, courageous, and mentally prepared when the stakes are sky high and fear tries to paralyze you. But here's the real magic, the secret sauce. When you stack these practices, when you weave them together into the fabric of your daily life, they create a compound effect that is almost unfair. Over time, maybe 6 months, maybe a year, you'll notice a fundamental shift. Your coworkers, your friends, your family, they'll stop asking, will this new challenge rattle her? Will she crumble under pressure? Instead, they'll start asking, what would she do in this situation? How would she handle it? That, my friends, is influence. That is leadership. And it's influence without imitation, without you ever having to chase it. It's an authentic magnetism that simply is. You become a steady anchor in a chaotic world, a source of calm and clear thinking. You're not just surviving, you're thriving and inspiring others to do the same. Real-world mini-case. Let me share a quick story. Last year, I was chatting with a software manager in Austin, a really sharp guy. He told me he'd been actively adopting all 3 of these Stoic practices. Then came the dreaded layoff scare. You know the drill, rumors flying, people hoarding tasks, everyone looking out for number 1. But this manager? He did the opposite. He openly shared his resources, his knowledge, even his team members, citing the virtue of justice and the understanding that what's good for the collective is ultimately good for him. He approached the uncertainty with amor fati, accepting the situation as an opportunity to demonstrate leadership and integrity. And he used negative visualization to prepare mentally for the worst, so he could act calmly and rationally. When the dust settled, guess who not only kept his seat, but gained a promotion shortly after? The guy who loved fate, chose virtue, and feared nothing because he'd already faced it in his mind. HR actually labeled him a culture anchor. He wasn't trying to stand out for a promotion. He was simply living his values, and his authentic self shone through, making him indispensable. This isn't just theory, it's a living, breathing testament to the power of these practices. Section 5. Common pitfalls. Now, a crucial warning here. These tools are incredibly powerful, but like any sharp instrument, they can be misused. The biggest pitfall? Don't weaponize these Stoic principles into smug superiority. Don't let them inflate your ego. The Stoics weren't aloof monks on pedestals, looking down on everyone. Far from it. They were shoulder-to-shoulder citizens, deeply engaged with their communities, striving for excellence within the world, not apart from it. If you catch yourself thinking, "Ugh, I'm so much better than these sheeple because I practice Stoicism," then you've completely missed the point. You've drifted into ego, not authentic self-mastery. You're using philosophy as a shield for arrogance, not a guide for virtue. When that happens, and it will happen because we're all human, you need a reset. The best way? Reread Marcus Aurelius. He was literally the most powerful man in the world, a Roman emperor, yet he famously called himself a little soul carrying a corpse. He understood the profound humility of the human condition, the transient nature of our physical selves, and the immense responsibility of cultivating our inner character. He didn't boast, he reflected. He didn't preach from on high. He wrestled with his own imperfections in his private journal, the Meditations. Humility isn't a weakness. It's the final, most silent, and arguably most profound standout move. It's the recognition that we are all on a journey, striving to be better, and that true strength lies in continuous self-improvement, not in judging others. It's about understanding that our virtue is for our own benefit and for the benefit of humanity, not for self-aggrandizement. Remember, the goal is authenticity, not self-importance. Section 6. 1 week challenge. All right, are you ready for a taste test? Are you ready to stop just listening and start doing? I'm challenging you to a 1 week Stoic sprint. 7 days, 3 powerful habits. No excuses. Day 1, a more fatty. The very first inconvenience that pops up, that infuriating traffic jam, the misplaced keys, the unexpected email that throws off your morning. Embrace it. Say, good, I needed this plot twist. Then, genuinely search for one small, tactical upside or opportunity within that inconvenience. How can you leverage it? How can you learn from it? Day 2, the 4 virtues. Before your most important interaction or decision of the day, quickly jot down wisdom, temperance, justice, courage. Ask yourself, does my planned action or response embody these virtues? If not, adjust. If yes, proceed with quiet confidence. Day 3, negative visualization. Spend 3 minutes, just 3, visualizing tomorrow's biggest potential fear or setback. Maybe it's losing your biggest client, or a critical project failing, or a personal relationship hitting a rough patch. Don't just imagine the loss. Visualize your response. What would you do at minute 1, hour 1, day 1? How would you rebound? How would you maintain your composure and act virtuously? The more detailed, the better. Days 4 through 7. Cycle through them again. Day 4, a more fatty. Day 5, the 4 virtues. Day 6, negative visualization. Day 7, a more fatty again. This isn't about perfection. It's about consistent practice. It's about building those mental muscles. And when you've completed your streak, I want you to post about it. Drop a comment below. Tell me about your experience, share your insights, or just type day 7 done. I personally reply to every single one. Let's build a community of quiet standouts. Conclusion, recap. So, let's bring it all back home. Remember these 3 pillars, these ancient keys to unlocking your authentic self and naturally standing out. First, love what happens, a more fatty, so you literally cannot be rattled. You embrace every twist and turn, knowing it's part of your unique story, part of your growth. You become resilient, not by avoiding challenges, but by integrating them. Second, Filter every move through virtue, wisdom, temperance, justice, courage, so you cannot be bought, swayed, or compromised. Your integrity becomes your North Star, guiding your actions and making your character your most valuable asset. And third, rehearse the worst, negative visualization, so you cannot be cowed by fear or uncertainty. You become mentally prepared, unflappable, and courageous, knowing you can handle whatever life throws your way. Do these 3 things consistently, authentically, and with humility, and you won't need to chase attention, approval, or recognition. Instead, attention will quietly, almost magnetically, follow you. You'll emanate a calm confidence, a grounded presence that naturally draws people in. You won't just be another face in the crowd. You'll be the one people remember, the one they trust, the one they look to. If you found this valuable, if you're ready to dive deeper into practical wisdom for a modern world, then subscribe to this channel for weekly Stoic career hacks and life insights. Drop a comment right now, telling us which one of these 3 practices you'll wield first, which one resonates most deeply with you. And please, share this video with that friend, that coworker, that family member who you know is tired of blending in, who's ready to carve their own path. Until next time, keep chiseling away at that marble. Keep carving out the real you. Because you, my friend, were never, ever meant to be a copy. You were meant to be an original.